Hello, everyone. I'm just going to be a few minutes. This is pre-recorded, by the way, so I wanted few interruptions from chat. So please, if you enjoy your content, please hit my Cash App, my PayPal, or leave a super thanks. All right, as usual. So I see that Patty apparently made a full recovery from her illness, her alleged heart attack. So I'm glad for that. However, Patty has not learned that getting worked up over this YouTube shit is not good for her health, apparently. So today she was seen over at Eli's. Same old bullshit. Yet again. So I guess nothing has changed. All right. And apparently she still has her Ass Creeps channel. And whatever other hate channel she runs. And then she has the nerve to call everyone else out who has a hate channel. All right. So, Patty, please. And one other thing. All right. Patty, since you want to sit there and harass someone when they weren't even doing anything, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. All right. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Now, I'm not going to sit here and defend Mrs. Portland's latest shenanigans with her releasing her nudes on her community post. I find it disgusting, classless, and demoralizing. All right. And Jamie even said it tonight that he was turned off by the fact that Mrs. Portland said she'd do it again. All right. I'm not going to sit there and defend her when she does something like this. All right. But, all right. Damn. All right. So let's just skip over that loss. And I'm seeing and hearing that Noodle Mash is claiming that our opinions are third party harassment on behalf of Mrs. Portland. All right. That is far from the truth. Okay. So I have an opinion. Say Robbie has an opinion. Jamie has an opinion. Darling Nikki has an opinion. And by the way, I agreed with a lot of what Darling Nikki said last night on her channel. So, some things I'll I disagree with in part, but within reason. However, all right, I agree with 98% of what she said. And let's just put it at that. Let's just leave it at that for now. And we are not doing this on behalf of Mrs. Portland. we actually have our own, we actually have minds of our own, contrary to popular belief. And the consensus is, guess what? If you're not doing anything wrong on this platform, then why are you sitting there calling them out and poking the bear? All right? In no way are we sitting there defending her past behavior, Mrs. Portland. We all right. To be fair here, I'm going to say this. I've seen Mrs. Portland be nasty. I seen her fly off the handle. I seen her be quite mean. She even decided one night to get on, make a less than a minute video and call me the F word for a homosexual. All right. I kind of laughed at it because I considered the source of it. All right. But at the same time, once she stopped her behavior, guess what happened? The live stopped. The commentary stopped. We left her alone. All right. Now, I'm not going to sit here and excuse the threats made to Noodle Mash. All right. Mrs. Portland got that anti-stalking order all on her own with help from no one else. All right. Yes, she had people interfering, such as Extinct Tube and Tits Up, aka Debbie. She goes by this Scott's Aurora account now. And this Shih Tzu lover, and Sophie. They want to sit there and get Mrs. Portland into trouble and weaponize her because they don't like Noodle Mash. We've all seen this with our own eyes. They're no good either. And they constantly go after Noodle Mash. All right. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the screenshots. But I never seen proof, all right, of, guess what? Clone accounts going around on Noodle or her husband. I never seen that. But even if they do exist, all right, prove that it's Mrs. Portland doing it. Now, it could be Mrs. Portland. I highly doubt it. She knows enough not to mention the plaintiff in this matter. All right. So I think if I had to point my finger toward in some sort of direction, it would be over at X's direction, that group. So they're the ones that sit there with their Swiss cheese minds over there and do the false accusations and the bullshit. So I'm just going to say that, all right? Because this needs to end. All right? This needs to end at some point. Okay? This whole fighting, this whole back and forth. All right? I'm not discounting what Mrs. Portland did to Noodle Mash. what Mrs. Portland did was nasty. It was cruel. She shouldn't have made threats. Okay? It's done and over with. Let it go. And Noodle, I'm just going to say this to you if you're listening. If you need help, just reach out. All right? There are free counseling services available. Okay? I know this may be hard for you, processing your emotions with this. Okay? I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to sit here and judge you. Okay? But this fighting needs to stop, all right? As long as Mrs. Portland is not mentioning you, not calling you names, not threatening you, not violating her probation, she should be left alone. And as long as she's not bothering everyone else, all right, like posting nude photographs of herself, then let her be. All right? Let her be. Because here's the thing, Mrs. Portland has no problem getting herself into trouble on here. She never has. And some people have overreacted to some of the stunts she pulled, such as the shit in the toilet bowl incident. I thought that was totally ridiculous for people to go ballistic over that. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Leave that part. All right. So now we're gonna go to the live I seen scheduled. All right. Damn. Now are we gonna start this fight again with Marie 21? All right. Now, I don't agree with some of the things Marie 21 has done in the past. All right. I get the whole situation between her and CJ. Hey, CJ even went real life on her, not once, but many times. And Marie 21's not innocent either. All right. But apparently someone decided to create a live stream, schedule one. And let me see here. Live in 16 hours. So what's this about? All right. Is she going to get interviewed, or are you going to attack Marie 21 on behalf of CJ? Because I noticed that you've been hanging out in CJ's chats. You've been hanging out over at that side lately since you left. And please, can we stop this already? And the same goes for Marie 21, all right? Can we stop the fighting? We all know what CJ is, how CJ is. All right? We know she's a backstabbing, good for nothing traitor. We've seen that play out. She's loyal only to herself, but that's besides the point. We know she goes real life. She supports going real life. That's CJ for you. And she's a total hypocrite. But does Marie 21 have to go to the obsession of following CJ around and it just makes me think, about some of these things. So I don't know what this live is going to be about, but damn. I thought this community couldn't get any nuttier. All right. So, just so I make myself clear, I don't really know Mrs. Portland. All right. She comes in my chat. All right. She comes in my chat. She behaves herself. She gets to stay. All right. The same rules apply over at Jamie's channel and a few others affiliated. All right. As long as Mrs. Portland behaves herself, abides by the court order, doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if we agree with the order or we don't agree with the order. The fact is that the order is in place by the court. All right. And we have to abide by it. All right. So, as long as Mrs. Portland is behaving herself, not mentioning you know who, she can chat. All right. And just because a select few decide to get angry, all right, and say, oh, she shouldn't be. All right, I'm just going to say this. All right, I believe in free speech. As long as you can carry on a conversation, your opinion should matter. At least in my chat, anyway. Okay? So why shouldn't that right apply to Mrs. Portland? As long as she can be respectful, not start fights, not go name calling, not troll my chat, not troll Jamie's chat, not troll Lindsay's chat. She can chat. It's the same rules that apply to everyone else. Why are you going to treat Mrs. Portland any different than anyone else that flew the coop and came back? Damn. Oh. He says, okay. The only times I had real contact with Mrs. Portland is when she's in a chat publicly on YouTube. All right. And I've or Rumble. Don't forget Rumble. And I've seen her say a few things in the back chat. All right. And it had nothing to do with anything. All right. She's not asking anyone to harass anybody on her behalf. So our opinions are not third-party harassment. Damn it. Oh. Yikes. I think some people are getting angry and that their emotions are getting to them. It's just damn it. some of these accusations I'm hearing that are coming from the other side are just ridiculous. Even I had to get rid of someone on my channel that was going real life on someone that I was covering. Because we said, do not harass or contact them personally with nasty messages. But she got caught. So it's just getting to the point where it's no matter what you say. And then another time I had to speak out. It wasn't because I was defending Mrs. Portland's behavior. It was I was speaking out about the constant police calls to her house. All right, just because she offends your ass doesn't give you the right to call her local PD. Now, the only time you should probably call her local PD is if she threatens to self-harm. All right? And she has a plan on doing it. And she has to be specific. All right? We don't want anything to happen to her. Even though she aggravates us sometimes and she's known as the community Looney Tune. We all know that she has a problem, you know? But just because that she posts something or she's down is no excuse for this real life bullshit. Oh. So I want to thank everyone for watching, and I'll see everyone later. So, all right. Bye-bye.